All right, here we go. Super fun and exciting pose number 4. This is one of the bendy poses. So this is what I'm talking about when I say that your bendy poses are due. So I'm going to start with an oval for her face, as usual. And then you can add some cranium. It's just the oval in the other direction. So I think that might just be the easiest way for right now. And then everything remains the same. Are we numbering and labeling again? You betcha. Every darn time, guys. So that is the link. 2, 3. I'm going to do this fast. 4, 5, 6. Every time I do this, I'm like, wait, is that right? And remember, portions stay the same for just about everyone from 1 to 6. And again, trained on the video figure where all the height is added below the knee. So if you want to make a portfolio for fashion school, all this stays the same. All the height is added below the knee. So we're also making a line at 1.5. And we are making a line at 4.25-ish. 4.5, 4.25, doesn't really matter. So 1.5, you guessed it, shoulder line. 2 is armpits. 3 is waist and elbow. 4 is going to be hip. You don't need to draw this dark. 4.25 is wrist and crotch. 5 is thigh area. 6 is knee. Somewhere in here is going to be ankle. All right. Again, before you start, when you have the good fortune of working from a printed reference, you want to analyze curve of the spine, tilt of the shoulders, tilt of the hips, and then really get in there and look at the negative space. The negative space is giving you information. It's trying to tell you what's going on. And then you can make connections between things like how much further does her elbow stick out from her foot? Do her elbows line up? No. Where is her hand in relation to her hip? Where is one hand in relation to the other hand? So while you're drawing, your brain is working like a supercomputer, just trying to crunch all this data about what is even happening. So that's kind of the breakdown of that. All right, so then we're going to hop right in there with her. I wanted to curve that the other way. With her slightly curved spine, neck, spine, right down to her crotch. I'm just going to see that they do line up, so it curves out, comes back in. Nothing too crazy happening there. And then again, we know the shoulders are at 4.25, so that's going to be the axis point of that tilt. And like a 15-degree angle is my guess. Same deal with the hip. In general, I suppose there could be some sort of twister version where the hips and the shoulders somehow wound up on the same slant, but I honestly am not sure. So slant, slant, and then I do believe that the photographer is a little below her, or her pelvis is tilted back a little bit. So there's kind of a little bit of a curve happening here. Take the width of the head to measure the width of the shoulders. You know this. Woman's shoulders are 2 heads wide. Her hips are 2 heads wide, at least skeletally. What happens after that? There can be different ways that weight, muscle, etc. are distributed. This is a case of negative space really helping you out with the neck. Like if you look on this side, look at this arc that the negative space is making. So if I do that, that's kind of automatically making my trapezius muscle there. And on this side, it's really a very nice, graceful curve from her neck to her trap to her shoulder. She's my favorite model. Don't like that other one at all. We're not friends. I'd hang out with her. I don't think I'd hang out with that other lady. All right. Same deal. The shoulder's lower, the armhole's lower. If the shoulder higher, the armhole's higher. And you're seeing a little side body here. A little bit of side body. So coming in slightly for the waist, curving a little bit more on the right hand side, and we can see that because of the negative space. And just connect your crotch to your hip. Here she is in her little scuba suit. Side body, side body. Just want to do a little shading so that I remember while I'm drawing that that is side body. Okay, I like her. She's fun. All right. And then let's think about, I'm doing legs right now because there's so much to process up here that I'm just taking it down a notch. All the weight is on this leg. Kick you in the head with that one. So, bam. This leg is firmly on the earth. With that knee appearing a little higher than 6 because of the way she's standing. And the ankle happening somewhere around 7.5. This leg is coming out a little bit. So knee. Something like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and keep going with the legs. So hip kind of jutting out a little bit. Kind of fun to exaggerate it a little bit, but not necessary. So thigh, calf kind of overlapping the knee, coming down to her ankle. And then that foot's tilted out a little bit. It's all about balancing. Again, if you stand up, try this pose. It is going to give you some information that will help with your drawing. Every possible thing you could learn about drawing, you can learn through figure drawing. Thigh, calf, boom. I don't want to be like one of those people who has like a signature noise. Gross. And so for this foot, I'm kind of thinking like heel, ball of foot, toe, connect them. So like heel, ball of foot, toe, and kind of connect them with a little triangle that's the top of your foot there. Not terrible. Does it look, is my negative space matching up completely? No. What does that tell me? Tells me that maybe this leg should not quite, be quite so far away. But it is what it is. It's still a believable pose. She looks human. And she looks like she could viably stand like this. I made that leg too long. All right, so I'm not going to get too involved in correction. You know the deal. Compare your negative space, figure out what's going on. If we were drawing in charcoal, we would be just going and like drawing it over again, but we aren't. So we're just going to do the best we can, and when we make a mistake, we'll just recognize it, and that's still learning. So shoulders, this arm is kind of tilted back a little bit, and so her elbow looks like it's just above the 3 because it's back, so it's shortened, appears shortened. Is it really shortened? No, it just looks that way. And then this elbow is kind of in line with her chest, and out here somewhere, you could take the measurement. Like that from elbow to waist is a head and a half, right? So you could kind of just take that measurement, spin it, and figure out where the elbow should be. So if I take this measurement from shoulder to waist, spin it, that's where the elbow goes. So that's kind of handy. Get it handy. No, forget it. And again, right now, the negative space is everything. So here, I'm going to make a blob for the hand first because it's giving me somewhere to go. So now when I go back and I fill in that arm, connecting it to the hand, so it's like dot to dot. So shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, which is down here. Like, okay, that's 3, and there's hip. So this is going to be just below the 3. So I'm looking. So this hand is like here, I think. I'll know when I put the angle in. All right, not bad. So something like that. And you really want to look at the shape of the negative space to inform you as to what is happening with the body. Right? And there's a lot going on in these poses, so just do your best. And it's really about the thinking and the trying to understand the spine and basically what bones and like muscles are doing than making a perfect drawing. So again, think of it as a riddle or a puzzle, right? It's a problem to be worked on, like a big long math equation. Terrible. Not trying to make perfect, pretty drawings right now.